Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Regina and Friends Crime Chat. Hey, Connie, it is so good to see you. I'm sure that we're going to have people start filtering in here soon. Um, for those of you that don't know, I've been working with a family to cover their son's case out of Forrest City, Arkansas, named Jerrick Holder. And I've been working with his mom, Ashley, and his aunt Desiree. I say it wrong every time, and I know I do, and I hate that because she's such a beautiful woman. But I'm terrible with names. Um, but I've been working with Jerrick Holder's family um, in hopes that maybe justice can be brought. It seems we have a um, a running problem, I would call it, out of Forest City, Arkansas, and it has to do with the chief of police, Brashard, Michael Ladd, and other actors. Thanks, honey. My husband's in here. Um, it has to do with certain individuals that keep ending up being tied to cases where victims' rights are being violated and people are dying, um, and there's no justice for these victims' families. And I have been going over a case file, um, a huge case file, with his family, and there is so much in this case. And I'm not gonna lie, it upsets me. It downright it makes me mad, um, to a point because not only are these people losing their loved ones, but the same people that are committing these crimes are going right back out to the public to do it to other people. And that's whenever, these patterns of behavior start taking a toll on everyone in the community, not just the family members going through it, but everyone, because as long as these people are allowed to remain out on the street where they have people to victimize, they're going to victimize people. So, um, tonight in Jerrick's case, I'm going to be tying some things together. I'm going to be playing specific clips and putting it all together here for you guys because I know that while some of you have seen one or the other videos that I've put out in this case, I know that y'all haven't seen them all in a flowing pattern, so that it really paints the picture of what's going on. So that's what we're going to do here tonight. And I'm going to start off by showing the first video I shared um, in Jerrick's case and start from there. So here we go. This is the night that Jerrick Holder um, lost his life and let me. Oh, it won't let me make it bigger, will it? No. Okay, well, I'll post the link in the video description below. This is on my shorts page, and it's called Unreleased Footage of the Crime Scene. So let's just play this real quick.
He's good. He's still burning. He's good. Man, you got to knock on with the police guys.
They go the ambulance finally here. Ooh, it's cold out here. Lord. They first responders.
Okay, let me pause that. Okay, the reason, and I know you guys, this video, I've met Miss Ashley, and she is such a beautiful woman. And after knowing her and knowing her voice, I know it's hard to hear the screaming because you can hear the pain in her during all this. But the reason this video is so important is because of two things. And I want you to pay attention to these two things, if you don't mind, whenever you're watching this video again. And that is that, in fact, Jerrick is in the passenger seat of the car and he is wearing a red sweatshirt. And the second most important thing is that if you'll notice, the police officer that comes in with his flashlight, he is not rendering aid to Jerrick, but instead he is looking for something in the floorboard. After going over this case and reviewing everything, I cannot help but wonder if what he's looking for inside that car while Jerrick is sitting there dying is a bullet casing. Let's play that again.
You still burning his good? Lady got to knock with the police guys.
They go to ambulance finally here. Ooh, it's cold out here. Lord. They first responders.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going to show it again, but also something else in this video. If you'll notice, all the police officers on scene not securing the scene. Paramedics could not have even got in here to help him because the scene was not secure. They aren't taping everything off. They're letting this woman, and I think that's not the driver of the car, I don't think. They're letting people in the car and everything else. And you'll notice the number of people around the car. They aren't taping it off. They aren't trying to get everyone that was in the car detained for questioning. It's just complete chaos. And this is at a scene where someone has just been shot. Now, with that being said, Michael Ladd himself, in the phone conversation you're going to be hearing in a few minutes, which is the prosecuting attorney of Forrest City, Arkansas, said that the cops are wrong. The investigation's messed up. Those are his own words. And you're going to be hearing that in a little bit. But we're going to be moving right along here. And I apologize. I know that is hard to watch, but it's very valid in this case and understanding the degree of the lack of control of the crime scene, for one, but the fact that, yes, Jerrick is absolutely wearing a red uh, sweater slash hoodie in the video. So let's move on to the next thing I want to share with you guys. And this was not in the interview video. This was this is actually the video I dropped on Friday as well. And this is Police Chief Burchard uh, talking to Jerrick Holder's mother, Ashley. So let's get right into it.
Your son, along with a guy named Perkins, Nick, and Brianna, and her cousin, it starts with an L, I can't remember. Tori. All of them except for Nick were over at Brianna's earlier in that day. Nick allegedly kept calling him, boosting his head up, wanting to go hit a lick. They showed up over there. They left from there and went to Rice and Man. After they left Rice and Man, they went to Nick's. Nick had a gun, Perkins had a gun, and he gave your son an AR-15. They decided to go hang out over there on
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, Martin Luther King. There was an altercation that took place inside the house between Brianna and Miracle. After that, Brianna, her cousin, and Hank went outside. After she was calmed down, Hank went back in the house. Cousin and Brianna stayed outside for a little while, where she had some messages with Donald Williams. Supposedly asked where she was at. She told him, "You know where I'm at, you just passed by." He pulled up in the house. Allegedly, your son come outside pointing an AR at him and had him open the door. They opened the door, they got into a tussle where they both ended up shooting each other.
Okay, so did y'all obtain a gun at the scene?
We got one gun.
Okay, so what did my son get shot with? What kind of gun?
9mm. Pretty sure it's gonna be sent to the crime lab.
So he got shot with what? A 9mm from Donna.
Yes.
So that was Donna gun.
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am. He had a gun in his possession prior to.
So that was what? That's
So you only got one gun?
Huh?
You only got one gun?
That's all we've got so far.
You said they was tussling, but the people that witnessed it, they said that it was shots immediately. Like they
But
had
he
shots
really
immediately.
could get out the car.
I know what the witnesses have told us.
They said the boy was on the other, they said the boy tried to hurry up, get out, jump out the other side. They said Perkins and Newt went outside to shoot.
All the witnesses that I've talked to out there said that Williams was inside the car, and your son come out. I mean, after the shooting happened, Nick and Perkins come outside. But so far, everybody's saying that neither one of them fired a shot.
Yeah, they
Nick was standing on the porch for
When
what
they
they
had,
said.
that's what he told us.
He got a report, he got a
Yes.
report.
The
We've
witness-
talked to Nick. We know
So
what
that's
his
a
story
different
was.
story.
He was out on the porch.
He said he was on the
Standing
porch.
The other witnesses said he come out just after the shooting stopped.
Right, but he told us that he was on the porch.
He told us the same thing. He told us that Williams just pulled up and started shooting.
Yeah.
No, but he telling
That's what
us,
he told us.
no, but
Yeah,
he
so he told us
told us.
that Hank, that Jerry walked to the
Let me tell
car.
you about lies.
They gonna
Change.
catch up.
Change.
They
And
changed.
I
And
just,
to be honest with you, right now, he's the one that I see that's probably gonna get charged. the most.
Nick had something to do with it. I just feel like he had something to do with my son getting killed.
If him or Perkins been accidentally
That's what I'm saying. You don't,
if neither one of them they accidentally shoot my nephew.
that's what I feel like. I feel like one of them accidentally shot my
But
son.
where did he get shot at?
I know that all the shell casings we got are going to crime lab. They'll be able to tell whether or not it was fired from that.
Cause I really feel like Nick or either that Perkins boy accidentally shot my son. And when they shot my son, they went head on and finished the boy Donna off. You understand what I'm
They
saying?
can draw my nephew.
Instead of taking him to the hospital, they drove him to Franklin Street. Why would they do that?
Her car, whenever she was trying to get into the hospital, she ran over something and blew out the tire.
Okay, but so
I
they
know
rode,
that's
but
a
they still could have rode to the hospital on too fast.
So they were,
Supposedly Nick told him to stop there and he was trying to get.
That's what Nick told me.
He was trying to get her to drive him on to the hospital.
Okay, and another thing, this girl, Bree Lockett, my child was 17 years old.
Mhm.
This girl was calling on my child underage. I want to press charges on her.
We're gonna give all that to the prosecutors.
I want all of that. I need all of anybody that was around my son when he got killed, I want them in jail. Because for one, they was too old to be hanging around my kids.
I understand that, but we have to turn over a file with the prosecuting attorney and they make the decision. The police department doesn't make the decision. It's not ours to make. Prosecutors make the decision whether or not they're gonna prosecute anybody. It all goes through them.
So what
Adam
do we,
Holman.
so when we call, like, what do we call state? Like, what do the state do? We call, can't state, like, help
Like,
us?
I want the state to pick it up because I don't feel like it's gonna,
Yeah,
nothing's gonna be done here.
Yeah, we just to make sure, you know, somebody get, you know,
You can make that request through Adam Holman's office. He's prosecuting attorney and he has to make, or ask the state to come in and assist.
he have to ask the state.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, we need to talk to him.
Hold on, let me make sure that's the one that I guess.
I think I already got his number.
This one say right here, Lieutenant Jimmy Thomas, Criminal Investigative Division, Company Commanders. This the areas he served. This in Little
We're talking
Rock.
about Arkansas State Police.
This in Little Rock.
Yes, they will not pick up a case just because somebody calls. I can't even call over there. I have to go through the prosecuting attorney's office. They have to request.
What is his number, Adam? Is it 317-5893? I think Easton was the prosecutor, but I think he got out.
I just need to state for the record that any phone numbers that are being said in this video are actual phone numbers to public officials. They are public knowledge and they are published phone numbers. You can look everything up, just type it into Google. It's, the attorney's offices and stuff like that. There's no doxing of anyone going on here. They're all public officials. Okay.
Easton's not the prosecutor anymore. I think he transferred all this stuff over to this Adam guy, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's just all up to the prosecutor. Nobody else but the prosecutor.
They're the only ones that can make the decision to prosecute somebody.
So
That's every case that we ever do. We have to turn over a
So
file.
who's over the prosecutors just in case that we feel that the prosecutors is not
There's a state prosecuting attorney is the one that's elected. That's Todd Murray.
there? So y'all didn't get the weapon that my nephew supposed to be shooting down with.
It wasn't in the car or anything like that.
That's why they drove over there to Franklin
to get rid of it.
He
Like
said,
this tampering with evidence.
Well, we checked that house.
but Nick told us that he gave that girl to his mom.
And his mama threw it in the river. The only river is by St. Francis.
He's not gonna tell us that.
What? He's not gonna tell y'all.
Of course they not.
870
Mm-hmm.
587 3035.
587-3035.
Yeah, he's got this on his website.
587-3035. And who is it?
That's Adam Holman.
Um,
He is the district prosecuting attorney for this area now.
the girl Bree said the prosecutor let her out and told
Cause
them.
they got new prosecutors
He
now.
said, he said there's not enough prosecutor right now.
Until new.
Until the evidence come probably.
Until his autopsy come. How long do they take?
I don't know, different times.
Because they said she the one set the stuff up.
That's what I'm saying. She should get charged too.
Said she texted the boy and
That's why
told
he
him
came
y'all
over
come
there.
over.
Yeah, that's why he came over there.
So what now? Nothing,
We're still investigating. And that's all I can release at this time.
So how do I go about pressing charges on her for dealing with my underage child?
All of that's gonna be included in her case file as well.
So it's
So she don't
already,
have to press it.
No.
The state already.
it's automatic pick it up.
Everything, she's admitted to being in a relationship with him. So as her cousin. be a part of our case file that's gonna be turned over. There'll be case files on just about everybody there that was at the house, besides somebody that's just a witness. And then the prosecuting attorney has to make that decision. You don't realize this, but every time you've ever filed an affidavit, it goes to the prosecuting attorney. He either gives it as good blessings or he says decline. But that's his decision to make. It's not the police. Every time we went and arrested somebody, even whenever we do search warrants, the prosecuting attorney has to approve beforehand. If he says he declines it for whatever reason, sometimes he'll tell us why he declines it. Sometimes he just sends it back with a sticky note on it that says decline. But that's every prosecutor I've ever worked for. But they make that decision.
We ain't not gonna get no justice here. We ain't not gonna get no justice here.
I just don't believe, I just can't believe nothing.
Walk up to a car and lose my,
And
especially if you got that ankle
the bullet
bracelet.
holes over there on the passenger side of where that boy done. They say he didn't even have time to jump out the car.
But how was he on the passenger side where he was driving though? I thought he drove over there.
Witnesses we talked to, they actually got out and fought around the car, and exchanged gunfire on that side of the car.
So they were firefighters.
Yes.
With that big ass gun, he's supposed
Pay attention to what she's saying here and put it to rational thought, because what this police officer is about to say is absolutely impossible. And I'll explain to you why here in a minute.
to have in the hand or whatever.
He opened the door, but we have witnesses say that he started hitting him in the head with it. That's when Donald pulled out and fired the first shot. They continued to tussle until they got on around the corner. And then they started shooting again.
I don't believe it.
Who told you that?
But Miracle did say
Who told
she
you
heard
something else?
when he went outside, he
He
did
told her
hear
what we went
some
to.
cussing.
The one people that. So they were firefighters.
Yes.
I'm playing that one more time.
He's supposed to have in the hand or whatever.
He opened the door, but we have witnesses say that he started hitting him in the head with it. That's when Donald pulled out and fired the first shot. They continued to tussle until they got on around the corner. And then they started shooting again.
I don't believe it.
Who told you that?
But Miracle did say
Who told
she
you
heard
something else?
when he went.
Okay, let me pause it right there for just a moment. Let me explain this to you. I've seen poor Jerrick's autopsy report. A bullet pierced his lung in an upward angle from underneath his left breast, kind of going towards his side more than his chest. He did not take a chest wound. He took a side wound more than a chest wound. It is not possible after that bullet pierced his heart that he tumbled and wrestled and fist fought with someone else. It's not physically possible. The bullet was lodged in his spine. Think about that for a moment. This this is Officer Burchard, and what he just told this mother is Jerrick hit Donald with an AR-15, and they fought, and that's whenever Donald pulled out the handgun and fired. And that bullet is the bullet that took Jerrick's life. And they fought some more all the way around the corner. And then Jerrick, while fighting him hand to hand combat, shot him with an AR-15. Right. There's There's only one drop of blood on Jerrick's shoes. On his shoes that apparently this police officer is saying that he fought in on the ground. Hmm. Other than that, his shoes look brand new. I seen them yesterday. They look brand new. There's one drop of blood on his shoes. And you would think you would think with him being shot through the heart, if he had managed, with a bullet lodged in his spine, you would think that there would be more than a single drop of blood on his shoes getting back in the car. I'm just saying, I mean that would be reason to lead you to think that, right? But there's not. I'll continue.
When I saw
You
you
did
over
hear
there,
what we went
them
to?
cussing
The one people that
and stuff like that, and that's when they
They
heard
all gave
shots.
recorded statements to us too.
we got them too. We do too. We got to record a statement.
But all of them different. Everything is different.
Every
Different stories.
It's
Somebody's
just,
lying.
Oh, child.
So what about the police reports? You should get those.
They gotta be released this early because it's still an open investigation.
It's what?
Still an open investigation. We can't release those till
So
after close.
what's the crime lab number to check on my nephew?
Is they doing an autopsy on him as well?
Yeah. So they'll be able to tell, like if they picked him up or moved him and put him in the car.
And his ankle
I
bracelet
don't know
too.
what I'm doing. I've been told that he ran to the car.
He ain't went to no car. He
And then another thing, he had an ankle bracelet on. Is there any kind?
Y'all heard that? He just said he ran to the car. I absolutely will, Mary. I promise. Everyone, this is Mary, Troy's friend. Um, that's with us. Um, y'all give her some prayers. She recently lost her husband, and just 6 months ago, which is, I can only imagine like it was yesterday still, bless her heart. But she's going through a lot and she could use our prayers. Um, so let's all pray for Miss Mary and keep her in our thoughts and in our hearts. But Troy was also murdered in Forrest City, Arkansas. Troy Alexandria Strope. She was murdered in February of last year. Um, one of the people involved with Jerrick's case was also involved with Troy's case, and it's the same district attorney and the same police officers involved in Troy's case. And sadly, the man that murdered Troy Strope, maximum sentences are only looking at 10 to 15 years. That's the poor woman they tortured and left on the side of the road in a gray plastic storage tote. Troy Strope. But this is where the pattern history of the corruption, the lying, the manipulating, and the abuse of family members in these cases is coming from in Forrest City, Arkansas, and it is so detrimental to not only the victims and their families, but to everyone else in the community. Everyone is suffering because of the corruption. Children are dying. Mothers are dying. You're welcome, Mary. I'll always keep you in my prayers. You touched my heart, woman. And enjoy dinner. We'll see you soon. Okay. All right, Miss Mary. We'll see you in a little bit. We're gonna get back to it now, you guys. Thank you for being here. It means so much to me, by the way. All right.
Kind of where I can get the information on where he was at that day.
She's already getting us a copy of that.
Okay, was y'all gonna give me a copy of that?
I can't give you any of that, it's part of an open investigation.
Until it
That's my
closes.
baby.
I understand that, but I can't give it out.
Not now,
No, no.
but when it closes, you,
Yes.
when the case closes, you can.
501 227 5747. I'm gonna ask for the medical examiner's office.
I don't know how long it'll take for them to examine him.
I know it takes different times, because everybody that gets murdered in the state of Arkansas goes to that crime lab. I can't give you a definite time. It's usually within a week though.
Right.
I can't tell you if it's tomorrow or, so I can't. Now, you usually call the coroner whenever they're completed. If you don't get in touch with them, they don't call you. They'll call the coroner and they should reach out to them.
I'm just gonna pause it right there for a moment. Yet again, they just completely gaslit Miss Ashley. Um, they don't send the information. Um, the cops go onto an online website to where they can view the information. This was a lie. Um, after they finish um, testing evidence, they might send it back to the police, but the police don't go pick up a file and all of that. They aren't shipped a file. That's old school. They didn't, before the internet. But now, these police officers that are investigating these cases aren't sent the files. They just go to a government website and put in their little special code number and then type in the case and get everything, all of the information, and then they print it off. So they just gaslit her yet again. I just wanted to point that out real quick. Okay, back to it.
It said the prosecutor declined her from the charge that she was given.
Basically, all we have is a change in her story several times.
So what they charge her with?
Okay, that was all that one. So now you've heard that part of it and what Chief Broussard, Police Chief Broussard, um, said about what happened. This is what one person, a law enforcement officer, no, the law enforcement officer, the chief of police of Forrest City, Arkansas, told Jerrick's mother. And the reason that's important is because I'm fixing to play another call for you guys. And it's what Michael Ladd had to say. And that's the prosecuting attorney who was sent arrest affidavits in this case, but refused to even put them before the judge. And the reason being is, according to Michael Ladd, you're fixing to find out, um, the cops didn't do a good investigation, etc., etc. So I might have to go back just a little bit. Hold on just a second. Let me get this other one in the right place. And this was my interview yesterday with Jerrick's mother and family. So hold on just a second. His mother and his aunt, uh, Desiree. I think I said it right that time. I'm hoping I did. One moment. Here we go. Oh, y'all can't see it. Here we go. All right. It's my fault if I hadn't. We had to fix the sound. We had
If I'd
some.
known about the water effect, I wouldn't have.
It's okay. It's okay.
Sorry about that.
God is good.
That's a really cool speaker, though. I like that. If the water element didn't keep making that noise, it would be perfect.
It would.
I could have brought my rocket. I don't know why I didn't.
Let me fast forward.
But then I forgot my notebook too. So. All right, here we go.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just not going to ask about my son's autopsy report. And is the case open or closed?
Who gave you the autopsy report?
Michael just gave it to me.
Okay. You know what?
Why?
We don't have it. He went in the system and printed it off.
Okay, so is the case open or closed, Rashad?
Varner?
He's talking to Officer Varner now.
Yes.
Tell her what happened to the first episode.
Who declined?
Who declined?
Okay, so what about?
Okay, you guys, hold on just a second. I got it. I got backwards. The first conversation was not Broussard, it was Varner. This one is Officer Broussard. This is the chief of police. I got him backwards. I'm so sorry. But this is the chief of police, and the first one was Varner, which was, I think, the lead one on the case, if I'm not mistaken. If I had that mixed up, I'll fix it in the description whenever I edit and clip. So yeah, sorry about that.
About the videos that
The girl?
of the girl I took to the prosecutor.
What happened to her?
He said that he gonna give it to y'all.
Oh, one thing like that. The video, when me and Grace and them had the video of the girl explaining how things happen.
Yes.
Okay. Even on the video, remember, and when I play it back to you, she said Hank shot him and he shot Hank.
Mm-mm.
Yes, she did.
Not on the video that I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same one y'all see me sitting in the office.
We gave you two of them.
Okay.
The second one that she called, she said that Nick had shot and killed my child. That was the very last one that she called and stated. And I asked her, I said, what happened?
We write all this stuff up in an affidavit. Okay. Send it to the prosecutor. We have no prosecutorial powers.
But the prosecutor, they've been going to the prosecutor's office and they've been saying that they don't have. And I'm just telling you what they're telling me. I'm frustrated just like you is, Bouchard. We're all frustrated.
Just pay attention to this, because if you'll notice in these phone calls also, and I'm fixing to play the ones from Michael Ladd as well for you guys, but pay attention in these phone calls, because it is literally the police that are supposed to be doing the investigation going back and forth with Michael Ladd, the prosecuting attorney, who is supposed to be prosecuting these cases. And also pay attention, because they're blaming Michael Ladd for not prosecuting it, but Michael Ladd is telling the family that's not what happened. This investigation is no good. But the last bit of information I'm going to play today with Michael Ladd in a conversation with Miss Ashley, that's the icing on the cake. Really, it is. It proves that there's going to be absolutely no justice until these people that are supposed to be protecting the public and helping solve these crimes and preventing it from happening again by solving it are not doing their jobs. They are shutting down on families, they are denying justice, and they are endangering every one of us in the population doing so, including my children and yours.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, we didn't.
You didn't say that. I just want to know what happened to my baby.
I'm gonna rewind it.
Yeah, go ahead. Just
I'm gonna rewind it. When he said he didn't kill my child, I never asked him that.
Okay. Send it to the prosecutor. We have no prosecutor. Prosecutor told me about it.
The prosecutors have been going to the office and saying that they don't have. And I'm just telling you what they're telling me. I'm frustrated, just like you is, Bushard. We're all frustrated.
Because at the end of the day, we did not do anything to your kid.
We didn't say that. I just want to know what happened to my baby.
Honest, I know you do. You're a mother. Yeah. You should want to know.
There was 3-4 people in that car with him that we died. And how ain't nobody, they all went, they all did that together.
Okay, all we can do is write up an affidavit. And we sent it in to the prosecutor. He's sitting there telling you.
When I went out.
That they denied. Did they not?
They said they don't have anything. They telling us they don't have anything. We went up there, we took the video recorders up there because they told us. He said that he brought up to you guys. Now this is what he's telling me. I'm telling you what this man telling me. And he said he brought him up to y'all, and he said that you said you cannot do nothing with it.
We don't even have the authority to do anything.
That's what, and he's saying that he's not allowed.
I don't know why people just won't say what they're going to do.
And I went to, we've been going.
Well, if they say, hey.
They say it's on you.
If they tell you.
That is not true. I've taken.
He said that he just not told me everything is on you, Bruce.
I took one.
That's what that man just told me.
And then I've taken one to them to say because
I didn't even say the word.
Both of them denied.
Okay, I didn't even say the word.
Killed each other.
I'm letting you hear what he does.
Okay, so is the case open or closed? What's going on?
I can close it. The only thing we keep open if I sent them another affidavit. And I'll do that.
Okay. In case anyone's kind of missing what's going on here, because I know it's a lot. The officer Burchard is sitting there with Varner. And Varner just told Ashley, these two kids killed each other. However, I find that hard to believe. The autopsy of Jerrick says there was absolutely no gunpowder residue on his hands. There were over 30 projectiles, not projectiles, but casings and projectiles retrieved from the crime scene. Keep that into account. And Jerrick didn't have any GSR on his hands. But they can close the case. They'll close the case. Right. But that's only because they're putting the blame on the murdered boys killing each other. Whenever there's absolutely no evidence that Jerrick ever fired a gun.
For you. They're going to decline it too.
Send it, regardless.
And I ain't make them write on there.
A reason why they did not.
And can I get that paperwork, please? So I can't get it. Yeah, I know.
That's an affidavit.
Some send them affidavit. After they come.
You get after they decline it.
Right. This one.
Yeah. You would be getting something that precedes even law enforcement.
Because I'm just saying he's putting everything on you.
I don't care.
That's why once I want, and I didn't even. I even reached out to the state.
They ain't gonna do nothing about that.
I know because they told me that the prosecutor have to get them.
Who did they say?
The prosecutor. And when I said something, when I mentioned that to him today, he said, well, he told me that it's not in his hand. He said it's in your hand. He said he cannot do nothing about nothing.
Okay. Well, there again, I will tell you this. You can believe what you want to believe.
I'm not believing nothing. I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of it. He telling me one thing, you telling me another thing, and I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep coming.
So I don't care. I mean, I'm gonna keep telling you.
I don't either.
I'm gonna keep telling you the same thing, and the reason why I'm gonna keep telling you the same thing because I can stand up. I can stand on what's right.
Well, I'm just doing what I got to do as a mother. I'm just doing what I got to do as a mother.
The prosecutor.
And the prosecutor keeps saying it is you.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm done with it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, because come on, because I keep telling you.
This is whenever he pushes y'all out of the building.
Yeah, he pushes out. He pushes out.
And if they deny it, I'm going to write this down. Why you deny it?
Right.
Okay. A prosecutor, hell, you can come and Google. A prosecutor is the only one.
I know that.
That can prosecute.
I know that.
You ought to know you're telling the damn lie.
Did he just say Michael Ladd was telling a damn lie?
Yeah.
Man, if you ain't gonna do
Huh.
nothing,
Go figure. The prosecuting attorney.
And I'll go fuck. I'm not keep asking the foot back and forth.
Because it's what we
Tell me the
want.
truth.
Thank you. That's all we want.
Give me closure. Tell me the truth.
That's what we want.
That's all I can do.
That's
I
what
mean,
we
hell, I can't
want.
make the law. Only the prosecutor can prosecute. I can't do nothing.
All right. I already got the last.
You got it. Make sure I ain't having it. I'll tell you the truth. Whether it's bad for your son or good.
I just want to know. Like I said, it been happening like that before. And like, you know what I'm saying? That's all I said.
I ain't said telling you
I'm
the
not
same
gonna say
thing.
lies. I'm not gonna say lies, but if I started going back to the same thing
If I keep
over and
telling
over
you-
again, what am I supposed to do as a mother? I can't even lay down and
But I understand with you. But what I can't seem to get you to understand is all I can tell you is what I've done. I can't do it. He said, this guy shot this guy. This guy shot this guy. That's it. Hell!
But there was evidence. There was evidence.
Only the prosecutor can take the case before the jury.
There was a recording stating what the suspect actually said. What happened?
And when I send this affidavit, what the least I can do is call you and say, Ron has take care of it. Would that suffice? That's all I can do. I can't give you that affidavit. You see what I'm saying? But at least I can tell you, on this day right here, we ain't over there with that affidavit. But they can't tell the damn lie that we can take another lie. That's the best I can do.
So we'll know when we get the comment, they do decline at this time. When we
They
get
just
the
need to
comment,
write a reason.
yeah,
Why they decline?
the reason.
That's all. Be a man.
Like nothing.
Be a man.
So, Brashard just told Ashley, Jerrick's mother, that the district attorney needed to be a man in this case. Just take notice of what's going on. It is mind blowing. This is a mother who has lost her son, not only lost her son, but lost him to murder. And this man is telling this mother, these two police officers have told this mother that her son and the other boy shot each other. But it's physically impossible to be what the cops are saying happened at the scene. So the prosecutor won't take the case. But there's more to it than just that. There's also an element of it surrounding Jerrick's constitutional rights that were violated, involving him being put on an ankle monitor. The ankle monitor that would have proven whether or not Jerrick was even at the crime scene whenever Donald was shot. There are no reports on the ankle monitor except for one that Miss Ashley has that I've seen with my own two eyes that looks like it was printed off of Google Docs. And there's no verification on it. There are no stamps, no seals, nothing. And there especially isn't a judge's signature on anything. That ankle monitor, it's in limbo. There are no reports of the GPS tracking on the ankle monitor in the crime case. I know I've seen the entire case file because Jerrick's case, they closed it. They closed it. But what they're saying happened to Jerrick and even to Donald doesn't add up. It just doesn't. The crime scene wasn't even secured. And if you'll listen in these phone calls, allegedly, Nicholas, one of the boys' mothers in the vehicle, was allowed to take a weapon from the crime scene out of the car. So let's continue.
Be a man and say, hey, y'all, decline the conditional, whether y'all like it or don't like it.
Yeah, we just want clothes.
Be a man.
That's it. Like, like
If you would like to eat, well, I don't want to get nobody involved in it that ain't getting. But the point is, I just feel like they should just be truthful and say, because we sent that girl tape over there, we sent the report. Okay,
and he told us that he didn't have the dollars and he didn't have not one piece of paper. They don't even have a case file. Why we keep coming back? Why would they keep doing? Why?
Let me show you what we sent over. Let's do that.
And this is him pushing you out of the building.
He pushed me out the building and asked me to come back in.
Oh,
yeah. Now we're back
that's
in
wild.
the office. Yeah, he be back in the office because he told us to get out.
We don't go back and forth right away.
Okay. We're going to move along to the next audio. One moment.
This is for them.
Okay. Oh, let me change the headliner because this is not Chief Burchard anymore. This is Michael Ladd. The district attorney speaking with Ashley now. So, all right, let's continue.
Now, in the beginning, he was stating that the mother that he was going to charge with the crime was Nicholas Henderson's mother.
Because
she was the one that disposed
of the gun.
Yeah,
okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Why she didn't get obstructing government operations or.
And this is Michael Ladd speaking to you.
Prosecutor Michael Ladd, located in Forrest City, Arkansas.
It appears from the statements that we have that. Well, let me tell you what I think it looks like, not what they say it looks like. What the young lady describes in here, and I know you think she's older, but 24 is young to me, describes in here could not have occurred, okay? That was just some fantasy story she made up. It doesn't match any of the facts. And so, obviously, how do you say it?
It doesn't match any of the facts according to Michael Ladd, but Burchard put it in his
affidavit.
Correct.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't.
Okay, continue.
Brianna, I guess.
Right. Okay. Is obviously not a credible witness. What it appears is that she, and this is just what I see from looking at it, reading between the lines. It appears she asked this Donald Williams fellow to come over to this house. Now, whether or not, I can't read her mind, they didn't interview enough people to know what all was going on, yada, yada, yada. I don't know why she would have done that. It could have been for the purposes of seeing a fight. My mama used to tell me all the time growing up, some women like to see blood. They just like to see me fight. Stay the hell away from them. Did she want to see that, or was she want something else? I don't know. But obviously she was involved in getting Donald Williams over there. After that, it starts to get confusing from what we got.
Could you pause it?
Number of guns.
There's paperwork over there from the Federal Bureau of Investigation to be turned over to them to charge her with conspiracy to commit murder.
Correct.
Because it is a federal crime.
Correct.
But the paperwork was never filed to the FBI.
Correct.
Okay, continue, please. Thank you.
Gunshot wound Mr. Williams suffered was, we counted 7.
So he was shot 7 times.
Holes.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume more than one person was pulling the trigger.
Is it?
That's what.
Wait. Can we go back and replay that?
He said it was one person, more than one person that pulled the trigger. I'm about to rewind.
That is Michael Ladd, the prosecuting attorney, saying that more than one person pulled the trigger.
I'm going to assume more than one person was pulling the trigger.
Is it?
I'm going to assume more than one person was pulling the trigger when that
It looks
happened.
like he pulled the gun and.
So if you're paying attention, this is a completely different story than Burchard just told the mother in their meeting. And that is why Michael Ladd is saying at this time, during this recorded phone call, that he's not going to prosecute it or sign off on anything that they've sent to him. So, okay. But there's more to it. Hold on.
Was in the house, and I'm not even positive who that was. We know there were 3 of them that we had the names of, but we don't know that was everybody. But it looks like they opened up on him and just shot him full of holes. Now,
which means there would have had to have been multiple AR-15s because that's what he was killed with.
Jerrick, okay.
Allegedly.
He got shot 1 time in the chest, correct?
Mm.
And well, that's what they did. See, that nobody says that except for that was one of the. There's a lot of weird shit about this, but that's weird. Okay, nobody says that anywhere in here except for the ME. And so some cop had to write that.
Did you hear that? The ME said that. The medical examiner said that. But Ladd's going to argue with it.
That down on something that they submitted to the ME.
Submit what to the ME?
When you take any piece of evidence, whether it's a body, a gun, or a bag of drugs, down to the ME, down to the crime lab, they have a submission section where you take it all into, and you fill out a form, and it has other comments or something below it. And sometimes if the officers have knowledge of how high-speed accident, whatever, they'll write down there so that the ME will have at least a starting point when he's looking at stuff. And that's, just read it to you. You'll see what I'm talking about.
So this case was not only botched, but it sounds like there's a true conspiracy to conceal what actually happened here.
Yeah.
Evidence is missing.
Most definitely. 3 pieces of
This is his opinion.
Pieces that would definitively
Which is
speak on what happened.
Part of the ME's report. That's what we actually use. In consideration of the circumstances of death and after autopsy of the body, it is the opinion. Let's look at This is based upon information provided by Forrest City Police Department. So somebody at the Forrest City PD told the ME something.
Okay. Police department, the coroner, the coroner, and they also said from their findings,
Right.
it looks like, from all of what they gathered.
Now it says was reportedly shot by another individual.
Yeah.
While sitting in a parked vehicle.
Exactly. Yes.
But
at first.
Okay. So after doing the medical examination and everything for Jerrick Holder, the medical examiner, all of the forensic experts have said he was shot inside that car. That's what you're hearing right now. That's what was just said. That was Michael Ladd reading the medical examiner's report. The experts report. And I'm no expert at all on autopsies, though I think it's a real service these people do for families. However, it is a science that fascinates me, and it's a skilled science. It's a factual science. It's a data proven science where data is collected. They can tell you where someone was standing when they were shot, whether they were squatting down whenever they were shot. They can tell you everything like that. And that is the medical examiner's report, their opinion that Jerrick Holder was shot inside that car. Fun fact, the driver of that car is left-handed. The person that was driving the vehicle was left-handed, which means if a person reached under their right arm while they were driving and fired into the person who was sitting in the passenger seat, that would make complete sense of Jerrick's injuries. Think about that.
that's not what they found.
That's not what y'all been saying.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
That they killed each other, and they did not kill each other. We've been saying it since they did not kill each other. They did not kill each other. And at the end of the day, was my son even placed on that scene? Was he even there? Yeah, because if he how do y'all know he was there?
Because everybody says he was.
No. Everybody can't say nothing from that ankle monitor. Y'all need to pull those records and see what that ankle monitor says where he was at. It's connected to him.
And we are fixing to get into the ankle monitor even further because that plays a very important part in all of this. Continue.
Sure is. And it's not in the report either. And what he got shot with is not up in there either.
Yeah, now that's something we just came up. One of these other kids that are young men that were there got caught with a 9mm on him Friday, and
that is Nicholas Henderson that he's talking about.
Nicholas Henderson, which was
The-
one of the suspects that their arrest warrant affidavit written up for right there.
And he never got arrested,
He's never been arrested. That's never even been before a
It's
judge.
never been processed. Never been filed.
That's never been filed, correct?
Who was there?
I don't know which one it was. They just called me and said one of the
Hey,
suspects
Connie.
in this got a 9 on him. We sent it down to the crime lab. We got bullet fragments to have it compared to the bullet.
So I don't even know what my son got hit with.
We don't either. It went through and through.
It went through. No, it did not.
Hold up a second. You have a medical examiner's report right over there that says they recovered the one bullet that killed your son. That they have it on the autopsy. I seen it with my own eyes.
But it's not in there.
But the bullet is not in the evidence or anywhere else. It just grew legs and walked off.
Yes, it's not there.
Okay, continue because this is getting to the important part.
It did not come exactly. It didn't even come out. It didn't come out. Yeah, it didn't come out. It went through his heart. It came right there before his spine. He did not have no exit on him. No, he did not. I'm sorry. I don't know.
He most certainly did not. That's in the autopsy.
Y'all better get it right. Because this is not right. This is not right. Something is not right. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep coming and coming and coming.
Well, man,
I'm behind my child. I'm coming for everybody.
If you don't shut up, we're going to meet. Okay, I ain't come up here.
Did he just tell you to shut up?
Because there's too many lies. I've been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months, going on 11.
You don't know what happened.
Keep lies. I've been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months, going on 11.
You don't know what happened. Your kid was on the porch with these other guys who shot this boy full of bullet holes. Is what happened.
Okay, was he in the porch or what?
My kid,
Whoa.
He was just on the porch.
Whoa. He was on the porch and shot that other boy. They shot that other boy full of bullet holes.
Listen.
Now, how did he go from the porch to the car with a bullet lodged in his spine and his heart punctured from the bullet and internal bleeding straight from his heart into his lung? I'm telling you right now, and it says it in the medical. You talked to the
medical examiner.
The medical examiner.
I spoke with her.
How long did they tell you? Because from the research I did, it said 2 minutes. But what did they tell you about that injury? How long it would take him to die?
I asked her, does she know how long did he lived or how long he would have lived or would he have made it? And she stated that didn't have a fighting chance. She said that he would have not lived past 3 minutes.
The research I did said too. So that's par. That's on par. It would have been just minutes.
It's close.
Not enough time with a bullet lodged in his back to get in that car.
Okay, I would like to say something real quick about that part. It actually takes 2 minutes to lose consciousness and 3 to die with the injuries that Jerrick sustained, sadly. They are instantaneous. Whenever your heart's punctured that badly, you lose blood pressure to your brain and you're unconscious. It's so quick. That is a mercy though, I guess, in a way, because he didn't suffer long, and thank God Miss Ashley was able to touch him and have that moment with him before he did pass. And that's a blessing from God, even though it's a bittersweet one. Let's continue. Sorry about that.
I've been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months. It didn't come out. It went, what's going on with my child's case, but y'all better get it right. Because this is not right. This is not right. Something is not right. And at the end of the day, I'm going to keep coming and coming and coming.
Well, ma'am, that's
I'm behind my child. I'm coming for everybody.
If you don't shut up and wait a minute, okay? I ain't come up here.
He told me if I don't shut up, that he's gonna end the meeting with me.
Michael Ladd.
I'm just letting you know because
Michael Ladd just told Jerrick's mother in this interview that if she didn't shut up, he was going to end the meeting. This is the kind of abuse families are having to go through at the hand of a prosecuting attorney, and they're being given the runaround. Please continue.
so many lies. Y'all been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months, going on 11.
You don't know what happened? Your kid was on the porch with these other guys who shot this boy full of bullet holes is what happened.
Okay, was he in the porch or was he running to the car? Which one is it? Because so many stories. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see him really running to the car.
Is that is what I'm saying? They told me that he ran up on the boy. So which one is it? So who killed my child then?
Mr. Williams.
How did he kill him? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. He can't kill him if he. Okay, so was he on the porch or was he at the car?
He was on the porch.
Okay, so if he was on the porch and everybody else.
Where's the bullet holes in the house?
Donald Williams was parked in the driveway and the car pulled out a gun, stepped outside of the vehicle, fired one round in the air, and then lowered the pistol and fired.
Why would he step out the car and fire a gun at them and they shoot?
That's impossible. Because that's impossible. Your son was shot
on the left side.
On the left side of the body, and he was shot, and the bullet went through him at an angle. That's impossible.
Yeah, and basically, because in the beginning they tried to make it seem like my son is the one that initiated it. But Michael Ladd just said that Donald got out the car and shot it in the air. I also have paperwork where Nicholas Henderson stated that Donald initiated. Right. He said that Donald shot my child first.
Yes.
I have paper on that.
All right, but continue with that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You're doing wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear the rest of that with Michael Ladd.
I'm being aggressive. It don't make no sense. None of
these homicides ever make any sense. It's young people who lose control of their emotions and they got guns on them. I mean, that's just the bottom line on that.
Okay. We know they didn't kill each other. Yeah, they know it too. We know. We know.
Here's the thing. I agree.
It wasn't a proper investigation at all.
That we don't have to even argue about. It wasn't a proper.
That we don't have anything to argue about. The prosecuting attorney told Miss Ashley Kelly, whenever she said there wasn't a proper investigation, the district attorney says that we have nothing to argue about. What is going on here?
He said he agreed with me.
That is Michael Ladd on recording agreeing that this case was not investigated properly. Continue.
They didn't get no forensics. They didn't get no fingerprint, no gun resident for my child. How I know my child shot that boy? I want to know everything about my child.
I would too. They didn't chase the woman down who had the guns and get the guns. They didn't get a search warrant for her house and go search her house. They didn't.
Hold it right there. They didn't chase the woman down who had the guns, which means they watched her walk off that scene with the murder weapon and didn't stop her.
Yes. Now,
oh, my sweet Jesus.
Now, the woman that they're talking about is Nicholas' mother. She was on the scene that night when my son was dying.
Which is who Lab was talking about in the beginning of this recording. Talking about she should have been charged with obstruction and tampering with evidence.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Continue.
Yes, ma'am.
He was in there with 3 people, Nick, Brianna, and Marcellus. All of them was there when those kids got killed. Even if they did pull the trigger, they still was there when it happened. So why is they free? They know what happened. Because one thing about it, if I'm somewhere and they get killed, guess what? That's on me. We all participated in it.
No.
Yes, it is.
So if you knew how many cases we've been losing,
I don't know if my child was there. I want to know if my child was there. And that's why I'm gonna get that anchor monitor paper.
Where's the
I
body
want to know. My baby body was 5 blocks away from the other boy body.
That's more than
That's one time.
Brianna and Nick.
And Marcellus. Don't worry about it. Like I said, because I'm going to get that anchor monitor paper because I want to know, even if my child was my child, even
I
there.
can get it.
Well, I need it.
Yeah,
I need it. I want to they might get the anchor monitor. Yeah, because
I don't want to call this closed yet.
No, this
Look, the one thing we agree on. There are too many unanswered questions. That's something we agree on absolutely.
He doesn't want to call this case closed yet, but he just told this mother if she didn't shut up, he was going to kick her out of his office. Okay. You bet.
And I would like more answers. And the concert just going to have to try to dig a little deeper, is all I can say. And try to find me something I can work with. I don't know why we don't arrest this woman and squeeze on her.
The arrest warrant's right there. Pause it. There's an arrest warrant right there.
Correct.
He didn't file it with the judge.
That is correct. I don't know what date it was stated on that arrest warrant for Brianna Holland, but this video here was recorded October the 10th, 2023 at 11:08 a.m. Is it the affidavit we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The affidavit paper with the girl Miracle on there.
It's not dated. It's not dated. Remember, because they never filed it through the court.
Absolutely.
It's missing. All the filing information is missing because Michael had no service, no nothing. Those are arrest warrants sent by Brashard to Michael Ladd.
Yes.
That were never presented to a judge.
Yes.
Okay.
Her ass in here and see if we can't get her to name names and tell her.
They had already charged her. And what woman is you talking about? Brianna.
The guy. The lady drove off.
You talking about Big Mama?
Yeah, the lady drove off.
The mama.
The mama would never know.
They let her walk away with the gun.
Yes, she don't want to hit the guns.
She knows something. She knows
They all tamper with it. Why are they going around a suspect? They tamper with the corpse. They all did. They even jail.
Remember that unsecure crime scene? Remember that unsecure crime scene at the very beginning of this video that I showed you guys? Where it looked more like they were searching in the car for something. People getting in that. Hold on just a second. Excuse me. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh yeah, the people getting in and out of the car and the cops shining the lights in the floorboards and this, that, or the other, and not securing the scene. All looks a little weird seeing all this put with it, don't it? Does to me at least.
They tamper with my son's body.
Till one of them tells you the true story, you don't get it.
I mean, who finna tell you the actual truth about what they did? If I kill somebody, I'm not finna tell you that I did.
That's why you gotta get somebody who didn't do the killing. I agree with you about that.
Who does that? Well, you need to be serious. Start with Marcellus because he told me that Nick killed Donald. He told when I went over there at night.
He sure shot him full of a whole bunch of holes.
Well, he told me, he said, I'm going so you know he shot him with a bunch full of holes.
And then he laughing about it.
He just laughed.
He laughed after he said that Nick shot that
Donald
with full of holes and laughed. He knows.
They know. That were never presented to a judge.
I'm playing that again because listen, he straight up says the other boy shot.
They had already charged her. And what woman is you talking about? Brianna.
The guy. The lady drove off.
You talking about Big Mama?
Yeah, the lady drove off.
The mama.
The mama would never know.
They let her walk away with the gun.
Yes, she don't want to hit the guns.
She knows something. She knows
they all tamper with it. Why are they going around a suspect? They
tell me went to court. They
We
tell
gotta
me
get one of them cracked.
they all did it. They even told me the Nick, all they tampered with my son's body.
Till one of them tell you the true story, you don't get it.
And so I mean, who finna tell you the actual truth about what they did? If I kill somebody, I'm not finna tell you that I did.
That's why you gotta get somebody who didn't do the killing. I agree with you about that.
Who does that? Well, you need to be serious. Start with Marcellus because he told me that Nick killed Donald. When I went over there at night.
He sure shot him full of a whole bunch of holes.
Well, he told me, he said, I'm gonna go. So you know he shot him with a bunch full of holes. And then he laughing about it.
He just laughed.
He laughed after he said that Nick
Shot
that
Donald
with full of holes and laughed. He
and
knows.
laughed. They
Not
know.
Jerrick.
He just said it. He just said it.
Not Jerrick.
They have
Nicholas.
all of the information, all of the evidence. The reason justice is not being done here, we're fixing to get to that.
Exactly.
But let's finish this up real quick, and we're going to explain why none of this, there are no answers, and there is no justice for Jerrick Holder. Continue.
Yeah. But y'all ain't doing nothing about it. Yeah, Marcellus told me Nick killed Donald that night. It's what he told me that night.
And I don't know who standing on the porch killed Donald. I really
It's not
don't.
funny.
The
Connie,
only
you're right.
person who stand on the porch was Nick. He was on the most person
The
supposed to stand on the
real
porch.
person in here, this one young lady says that all of them had guns. And she actually feels like she's telling a story that might exist in the world we live in.
And she probably was the killer. Because the autopsy
Yeah, it's
report,
a third statement from Brown.
yeah, she had 3, 4.
Yeah,
She had too many.
yeah.
Too many different ones. And that.
I don't know. Look, all I can tell you is this. Meeting with my boss tomorrow, taking this one and another one from Monroe County, get him a look at them. I will get on the leg monitor. That's something I can actually concrete promise you I can do. I will get on that immediately. And
He concrete promised that, but guess what they never got? Guess what's not in the case file? Wouldn't you believe it's the leg ankle monitor data? Doesn't exist. It just doesn't. Neither does any ballistics. There are no ballistics. Even though there was one of the weapons retrieved, there are no ballistics. Literally, the medical examiner said that Jerrick died within 3 minutes of his injury. 3 minutes. And he was not able to walk. If you sort it out in all of this, I think there is a truth somewhere in all of this. I think if you can look at the actual forensic evidence from the medical examiner, and which I will be posting all of the medical examiner's reports and stuff in lives slowly, because there's just a lot of data to go over in this case. And I'm working on interviews right now. I'm going over interviews, and I will be releasing some of the footage from those interviews. And Jerrick's own mother has never seen the interviews. She can't bring herself to watch them. And I would just like to give a shout out to Desiree, and I think I said it right again, because she is such an amazing sister to Ashley and really helping her go through all this and stay strong, and the really hard things that Miss Ashley is not able to do because it's too much for a mother to bear. Desiree is really, really there for Miss Ashley. And I just want to say that they're probably two of the strongest women and some of the most beautiful people I have ever met in my life. Um, and I just appreciate um, their willingness to fight for the person they love. It always amazes me in these cases to see that even when you look around in this world and it is so cold and so cruel, everyone just out for themselves. It's a blessing to see these families that are capable of miraculous things for their family members, all in the name of justice and truth for the people that they love. And it's more than just a story or a case I'm covering. Whenever I meet these families and I get to know them, it's it's a relate where it's honest. You don't want to talk about a victim's injuries with a parent. You don't want to talk about autopsies and the pain and suffering. But the thing is these families are suffering because there's no justice in their loved one's case. And when there's no justice, there's no rest. There's no peace. And they need that. That's part of being able to have closure. And you don't move on from something like this, but you can find peace in truth. And I truly believe that. So let's get back to it. I'm sorry that was a little bit of a sidebar, you guys.
And,
We know about that,
see
don't we?
what that has to say. And at bare minimum, it should track him. I mean,
It's gonna track. It's gonna track. It's gonna track. Everywhere you go, everywhere he went, it tracked. It tracked. It was on the screen. Yeah, it did.
So
It did. I know it did.
we'll get that and look at it. Because, I mean, the part about ending up on that street because of a blowout didn't make any sense.
No.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and you could have went straight to the hospital.
Why didn't they take him to the
Why y'all stay all the way down the
hospital?
road? Why y'all go that way?
Yeah, I agree with all that.
You know
Because
why?
they said they were getting in there to take him to the
Yeah,
hospital.
y'all the hospital.
And went the wrong way.
Exactly. All of them did. All of them said that. Like I said, this evening my child was at the city, and one thing about it, my child, I think I went on this.
Okay. Now, the reason the ankle monitor is so important is because your son was in a vehicle with two adult males, correct?
That is correct.
And your son was in the backseat passenger, I do believe.
Yes, he was riding with someone that he got caught up in a traffic stop or.
They got pulled over. The
Yes.
police pulled the driver, the other adult person, and your minor son over in the vehicle.
Yes, that is correct.
And
He was 16 during this time.
your son was 16, correct? And during this traffic stop, there were guns found in the vehicle.
That is correct.
And none of those guns belonged to your son, did they?
That is correct.
And the person that owned the guns claimed possession of the guns at that time, correct?
Correct.
And your son was arrested on gun charges
Correct.
whenever he didn't have possession of a gun.
Correct.
And due to the circumstances around involving that, your son ended up with an ankle monitor. but there was never one issued to him.
Exactly. He got caught up in July with that incident. We went to court September the 6th. The judge told me to go get a lawyer. She actually continued until November the 15th. Between September the 6th and September the 14th, that's when the Forrest City Police Department came to my home and put the ankle monitor on my child's legs, which had nothing to do with the charge that he came back in July.
Right. And that ankle monitor would prove down to inches where your son was.
Yes.
It would show his exact location. I mean, it's so with that ankle monitor on, they're supposed to be monitoring his
I'm going to move
whereabouts.
forward just a little bit more
Anyway.
into the next conversation.
They didn't give me no instructions. He didn't have a curfew.
He's going to say some things, and
Yeah, they will say it was so many different stories.
Yeah, fast forward.
So I already got
This is Michael Ladd again.
The investigator is. Sometimes it takes them forever, but if it's back, yeah, I can get a hold of it.
Okay, well, you need to get a hold today because I know for a fact that my son was murdered. For one, before my son got killed, they violated my son's rights. Miss Detective Hall.
Yeah, well, look, and when you get into that stuff is where you're losing your cops. Once you start talking about that crap, nobody's going to help you. Okay, that's just a fact.
Once you,
I need you to stop talking.
y'all heard that, right? Let me go back and replay all of that.
Yeah, they will say it was so many different stories.
Yeah, fast forward.
And I already got on the phone several times. The investigator is.
Yeah, sometimes it takes them forever, but if it's back, yeah, I can get a hold of it.
Okay, well, you need to get a hold today because I know for a fact that my son was murdered. For one, before my son got killed, they violated my son's rights. Miss Detective Hall.
Yeah, well, look, and when you get into that stuff is where you're losing your cops. Once you start talking about that crap, nobody's going to help you. Okay, that's just a fact. So,
talking about what stuff?
I need you to stop talking about that and talk about what we were just talking about. This girl who saw it, who's told you that it didn't happen the way that it happened, or that they say it happened. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off into them violating your son's rights.
Okay, we're back live again. Sorry about that. We're going to go back just a moment in the recording and keep playing it. Sorry about that, you guys. We lost signal for a second there.
And you're good. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off.
That's fine.
That happened. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off into them violating your son's rights, everybody in the system is just closing down their ears. They don't want to hear it. We hear it 5,000 times a day. And you're going to lose all your audience if you do that, okay? And you don't want to do that. You want some justice for your son, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let's stick with it. They've got the investigation wrong. I've got a witness. I've got tapes. I've turned them over, and let's go from there.
They've got the investigation wrong. That's the district attorney saying that. And telling the mother that if she speaks about the violation of her son's rights, it's over. Nobody's going to help her. Imagine living in a world where if you speak about your constitutional rights being violated, there are people who can deny justice for you. It is a prosecutor. Yep. It's good to see you, Gold Dust. Welcome. Absolutely, it's a prosecutor. I'm going to go back just a little more and play because my internet access was acting up during this. I'm going to go back. Let me see. Go back just a minute here and play that again.
There were two other shooters and not just one.
What do you mean? Yeah, they will say it was so many different stories.
Yeah, fast
You
forward.
know, so now recording. I already got on the phone several times.
Investigators.
The investigator is
Sometimes it takes them forever, but if it's back, yeah, I can get hold of it.
okay. Well, you need to get a hold to that because I know for a fact that my son was murdered. For one, before my son got killed, they violated my son's rights. Miss Detective Hall.
Yeah, look, and when you get into that stuff is where you're losing your cops. Once you start talking about that crap, nobody's going to help you. Okay, that's just a fact. So
talking about what stuff?
I need you to stop talking about that.
Once you start talking about that crap, nobody's going to help you. Use your constitutional rights, people, and you'll lose all your support. That's literally what he just said. There's no other way to paint it. And the worst part of all is he's actually talking about the ankle monitor being on her son. It was a violation of Jerrick's rights. That ankle monitor was not approved by a court or a judge or anyone. It was never put on him legitimately and legally authorized. That was a violation of his rights. But here's the worst part of all. That ankle monitor and the data off of it can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jerrick was shot inside of that vehicle. And it can also prove that he, in fact, is not the person that shot Donald. Mm-mm-mm. I'm gonna continue and finish this phone call out, and then I'll take a few questions if anyone has questions or anything. Um, I could open up the phone line if you guys would like, but if nobody's in here that would like to comment or call, then I'll go ahead and end out the stream. Just put a 1 in chat if you would like me to open the phone line up for you guys. But we're gonna finish out this call, and because these are some of the most important things in Jerrick's case, and I'm just trying to put it all in one place, readily available for you guys, and especially show you guys the way this family is being treated because Trey Alexandria Strope's family was treated this same way. This is not something uncommon happening to victims' families. There's no compassion. There's no seeking justice. It's just, they're not even doing their jobs at this point. So what are they doing? I know they're getting paid tax dollars to solve crimes and homicides and to protect the public. But do you see that in any of this? Because I personally see a lot of gaslighting. That's just me, though. That's why I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on it. So I'm going to finish out this call, and then I'll, if anyone responds with the one in the chat, I'll set it up to take phone calls. So here we go.
And talk about what we were just talking about. This girl who saw it, who's told you that it didn't happen the way that it happened, that they say it happened. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off into them violating your son's rights.
Okay, we're back live again. Sorry about that. We're gonna go back just a moment in the recording and keep playing it. Sorry about that, you guys. We lost signal for a second there.
And you're good. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off,
That's fine.
Say it happened. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off into them violating your son's rights, everybody in this system is just closing down their ears. They don't want to hear it. We hear it 5,000 times a day. And you're going to lose all your audience if you do that, okay? And you don't want to do that. You want some justice for your son, right? Correct. Okay, so let's stick with it. They've got the investigation wrong. I've got a witness. I've got tapes. I've turned them over, and let's go from there. Okay? And I'm going to get a hold of those tapes, and I'm going to go talk to Broussard about this, all right? Okay. All right. And holler back at me again. Give me a couple days. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Talk to you. Mm-hmm.
So you were told by the prosecuting attorney of Forrest City, Arkansas, Michael Ladd, that you talking about the ankle monitor on your son, which would have shown your son's exact location, which would have proven
if he was there or not.
If he was there or not to begin with, but also exactly where he was standing in correlation to Donald being shot.
That is correct.
That ankle monitor, that is evidence that would prove what happened.
Okay. There you have it. That was the end of the phone call with Michael Ladd. So thoughts on this? What are you guys thinking? What can be done for this family? What can be done for all of the victims' families in Forrest City, Arkansas? It's a lot of work. And it seems like there's almost nowhere to start because this is going on at the very basic levels and in even higher authority positions. How do you solve it? You have a prosecuting attorney who is unwilling to prosecute even whenever there are affidavits sent to him. And the police force saying, we've sent all of this to the prosecuting attorney, but he won't prosecute. Where do you go from there? You'd think you'd put it in the hands of another jurisdiction that were more capable, but that's not what happened here. What happened here is an innocent boy named Jerrick Holder was murdered in cold blood inside of a car. And he is who the blame of another child being murdered is pinned on. So, on top of losing their family member, a mother losing her son, on top of that, you have him being blamed for murder. No gunshot residue on the hands. part of the evidence missing in the case. And the prosecuting attorney and the police that were supposed to investigate the case pointing fingers back and forth at each other. How is this solved? The only way I know is to bring awareness to it. That's the only way I know to bring awareness to it. Yeah, he said that crap. Absolutely, Connie, he did. Yes, and evidence is missing. The red hoodie is missing. The bullet that killed Jerrick is missing. The ankle monitor is missing. As a matter of fact, they came and confiscated the ankle monitor. And that's in the interview from yesterday if you guys would like to go review it, because there's a lot more in that interview. There's a lot in this case. But what I will tell you that is not in this case is any evidence whatsoever that Jerrick Holder even had a gun in his hand. There's no proof of it. No GSR. There's no proof of a fist fight, which you heard the first officer in the very first audio recording I played tonight, as you heard him say. So, contradictions, cover up, bad police work, not securing the crime scene, blaming a murdered victim for another murder. What does that all boil down to? Is it incompetence? Or is it something more nefarious? Corruption, dare I say. Is it corruption? You guys, you be the judge. I'm going to open up the phone lines for just a few minutes and see if we get any calls. And if not, I'm going to end it out. Let me open up my other window, get it set up real quick. Let's see here. All right. Here we go. You know, Connie, that's really honestly what I'm thinking at this point, too. Corruption. Because if you remember the Troy Alexandria stroke case, these are the same players. It's the same prosecutor, the same police force. Only in Troy's case, the sheriff's department is involved as well. Um, and Troy's family was treated this way. I know I heard I called um and I was told that, well, some very nasty things um because he was gaslighting me. It's incredible. Okay. By the way, the phone lines are open, you guys. Let me put the number out there. There it is. And there's the number if you would like to call in. Thoughts on the case. As I was saying earlier, though, the one surefire way that I know um, we can help these families is simply by sharing their stories, um, sharing this video, um, because that's the way that it gets in to the hands of people that can help this family, that can help put a stop to this level of misconduct in cases. Yes, Gold Dust, next level jurisdiction. But see, that's the whole thing. Here in Arkansas, we have, I guess, what you call a good old boy system. And whenever one attorney, prosecuting attorney, refuses a case, it's so unlikely that anyone takes up the case. This information, these cases, it seems like nobody's listening to these families almost. I mean, they're telling victims' families to shut up. I heard one of the saddest things I've ever heard in my life yesterday. I was told that I asked about Donald's parents and stuff in the case. And the person I was talking to told me that she had pretty much given up because everywhere she turned, nobody would listen. Is that what becomes of these cases? Do we give up? Does anyone realize that by giving up, we let it continue to happen? But then again, how can you not give up if you turn every which way and nobody's there? The call in phone number is 870-266-6949 if you guys would like to call in. What can be done in this case? Gold Dust, you said after 18 years, I'm glad I'm out of that field. And then you said next level jurisdiction. Um, would that be like calling the state attorney general, or I mean, what would be some of the next steps to take in the case? I know that the family is listening. If you have any advice, that would be greatly valued, Gold Dust. Oh, thank you, Connie. Thank you. Um, to any creator, here, let me put my email up for you guys and pin it really quick. Um, for any of you creators out there that would be willing to share this case and share this story, um, the entire case file is there. It is all in black and white and audio recordings and interviews. Everything is there that you need to present this case perfectly. And anyone that is willing to help this family by covering this case, I will be so happy to be able to supply that information to you. Um, and with approval from Miss Ashley, um, put you in contact with her um, to help get this story out there, because not only is Jerrick's name being completely disgraced, but his entire family is, by the lies. And not only that, but the person that did kill him, and likely Donald as well, is still out on the street to take your or my child or mother or father or niece or nephew or grandparents or cousins or uncles or aunts away. So that's why it's so important to share these cases. So I guess nobody's going to call in. That's cool. I guess we are running into 2 hours already, anyways. But I appreciate you guys all being here. Um, please like, subscribe, and share. And if you know anyone that would be interested in taking on this case and covering it, just hit me up. My email, I guess I'll type the whole thing in real quick because it didn't. Here we go. There is my email if you will contact me. Um, I will be more than happy to get you anything you need to help cover this case because it really needs covered. This family has had an egregious violation against them. It's really an egregious violation to all of us, and especially in the name of justice. So I'm a little tired. If I sound a little down, I apologize. I'm a little tired. It was a big day yesterday. Um, so I'm a little tired, but I appreciate you guys all being here tonight. Please like, subscribe, and share. Um, and in the words of Crystal, share a smile and save a life. You never know, the life you save might even just be your own. Remember, kindness is free and hate costs us so much. Let's share a little love in the world and do our part. Lock your windows and doors. It's a dangerous world out here. People can be crazy. And with that said, you guys, blessings and good night. Night, Connie. Thank you, Goldust, for being here. Appreciate you guys. Bye, everyone.